all I remember is the frustration of trying to remember something. It is literally like floating in outer space. My consciousness is set into this void that now hides answers to everything I want to know: names, dates, places, appointments, everything. And there is another side somewhere. If I just get to it, I'll find the information. And then I wake up. It was important to me to write a play as a way to engage the disease. I was a full-time lawyer, and my first job was to work for Ralph Nader. Yes, that Ralph Nader. Some called us Nader's Raiders.
Over the years, hundreds of idealistic young college graduates have come to the center to spend a couple of years working long hours for little money.
I was a Ralph Nader, the first public interest research group. We called them PER. There were 13 of us. I was 2 weeks late because my son was being born. I had few options. I picked property tax reform. Still working for Ralph, there was a huge camaraderie. It felt important. It felt like, here's a chance to make a difference. Troublemaking actually feels almost genetic for me. Even getting married caused trouble. I'm second of the two of us to get a terminal diagnosis. Susan, 18 years earlier, she was diagnosed with advanced breast cancers. The doctors found a post-double mastectomy lump and pulled me aside and said, she's not going to make it. I wrote a play about that. It was just so interesting how young we were and how exciting we were. We had no certainty. She was now going out of the phase the doctors were releasing her. I needed to find a way to release what had happened to me. That struggle was harder for me. I think losing somebody is harder than being the one who's dying. How's that for weird? My challenge was imagining holding Susan in my arms as she took her last breath, and I couldn't do that. She and I were a singularity. Susan and I had been together enough. The good and bad times, by the way. We shared our breath, we share a soul. And in losing her would lose half of who I was. And I was afraid of that. But she was always Susan. I'm becoming somebody else. If this is what my life will be like, disappearing to infinity for moments that feel like years over and over and over again, what should I do? What are my choices? Maybe I should just exit. I did not anticipate the impact that it could have on the audience. It gives new meaning to my life. People will come up to me, sometimes in tears, and said, well, my husband, my aunt, my grandfather, and I never knew what was going on in their head. She tells me that she loves me and that I will always be Sam to her. My greatest fear is the pain that I'm going to cause Susan and then others around in my process. Our life has been as good as it can be, and if I want to just have the best rest of our years, do the things I can do the best I can until I can't. And in the process, I want to be a net positive for the world. Thank you.